Hello, everybody, and welcome to Half the Brain, a podcast that has half the brain that you do and half the facts that you do. Welcome, everybody, to the Brain Trust. We're opening up the notes and the meetings from last minute and from last meeting, and just having a quick look over. No, we didn't get anything wrong last time, so let's carry on. On this month's episode, we're once again joined by Ferry Tunk, Mr. Niall. How are we doing, love? You all right?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. All good. I'm like Bray Wyatt and LA Knight dark match on a pole, Mountain Dew, black light match. I'm wonderful, mate.
I was going to say, do you need me to call anybody?
We'll chat about the Rumble in a moment. But also join this month, on the pod is Dickkie from Shackleford. Mr. Dickkie, how are you doing, love? You all right?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
AKA The Cupboard.
The Cupboard, my creator wrestler moniker from way back when.
The Cupboard.
So making his in-ring debut this evening.
a run-in from Dickkie The Cupboard. So, Dickkie, give us a match, a promo, a pay-per-view, an interview in wrestling that you've watched this month.
So I don't have as much of a finger on the pulse of the modern product and stuff.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It could be from any time, any place, anywhere.
So Shackleford, we went away for the weekend to Wales on a little vacation. We watched a bit of old school wrestling and stuff. Me and Dan, especially. What were we watching? I think we had lots of drink involved. We were in Royal Rumble mode. So I think we threw on some kind of early 90s Royal Rumble, kind of we wanted to essentially watch the village people having a fight with each other. So yeah, we went old school. Excellent
stuff. The early 90s Rumbles are just a cavalcade of weird characters, especially like the early 90s ones. Some of them are Adam Bomb. People like those kind of things. El Matador, Max Moon.
Okay, Al.
Yeah, I think we avoided 92 because that one's like a good Rumble. So we aim for like something a bit more tacky.
Yeah, 93, 94.
92 is the Rumble that you invite your pals around. You put like some nibbles out and stuff, and enjoy the show.
Exactly.
Outside of that, though, recently I rewatched the ECW One Night Stand. The
first or the second one?
The first one before they brought it back properly and stuff. Yeah. Mainly for the it's the Mike Awesome, is it Tanaka match?
Yes, the basically the war with chairs.
Yeah, just that match alone makes it worth watching that pay-per-view. That steals the show.
Is that the John Cena RVD main event?
No, that's when they did ECWWE, wasn't it? So
right,
the original one, I think the headline match was Dudley Boys versus Sandman and Tommy Dreamer, isn't it? Tag team match at the end.
Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah.
It's all ECW talent. You got Lionheart, Chris Jericho versus who shall not be named, and was it?
You mean Pegasus?
Or was it Guerrero in that one? I forget. Anyway.
Yeah. They're both a classic. And to be fair, I think now cracking on, they both sort of bleed into one in my mind. Both those one night stands were brilliant. I watched them both live. I think the first one, my neighbours were banging on the walls to like, shut up. It's 4 a.m. We stop screaming.
Yeah. I think it's because I didn't appreciate ECW at the time so well. So it's that perfect middle ground where I can rewatch it and go, oh, look, here's where like
this happens.
The giant talent that went on to become huge names. Yeah. You can see kind of their kind of forming ground and the connections. Yeah, it's amazing.
Here's where the Dudley Boys started and how they got together.
Absolutely.
That sort of stuff always fascinates me. How people like start the gimmick, especially if it started in another sort of promotion and then brought into the Fed or what was WCW at the time or something like that. It's always fascinating. Yeah, really.
You get to see the forgotten members of the Dudleys in particular, like old Big Dick.
Big Dick Dudley.
Sign guy Dudley.
Dances with Dudley.
Yes.
I don't remember Dances with Dudley.
Native Indian. Dudley boy. Who else? There was a couple of others. There was a stuttering Dudley, I think, as well. Oh no, that was Diva.
I was going to say that was Bubba's
original thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're all part of Raven's flock or Raven's nest, as it was in ECW at the time.
Is that right?
Yeah, they all came from Raven's nest, which was a bit strange. But there you go. Anyway, it being February, we've all obviously seen this year's Royal Rumble, have we not?
I will precursor this. Following the night out that we had in Wales, we were too hungover to watch. But I've seen the men's Rumble match. That's as far as I've got through it so far. So I don't know anything else, but don't worry about spoilers. It's my fault.
odd placement for like the title match, like the Royal Rumble. It's like sitting down, you watched it, like get myself a good few, undercard matches under my belt for the main event, and then you're like, oh, okay.
It's started. Well, to be fair, I mean, this has been the first WWE a premium live event I've watched for a long time. I think I watched last year's Mania, and that's the last thing I've seen of WWE. So it was for me. Oh right, brilliant, crack on. Yeah, first thing on is the men's Rumble. Brilliant, I'll have this. And to be fair, I thought the men's Rumble was very good. The guys I didn't know, I got introduced to, and I got a flavour of what they were about. But the overall arching story was, when's Cody coming in, and how's he going to win?
Yeah, a lot of chatter online was like, oh, it's going to be Sammy. It's going to be Sammy. It's going to be Sammy. It's like, no, mate, it's Cody.
Yeah. I understand. I think because I've not been keeping up with it fully. By the time you got to the main event, there was a nice video package that brought me right up to date with everything. Thank you, WWE, for doing that. And it sort of told the story in 3 or 4 minutes, and they got me right invested into it. Boom, here we go. Right, okay, I know what's going on now. And by the end of it, I was fully into that storyline. And I don't think it's the greatest storyline in the world ever, but it's from what I've seen so far and what I've seen of it, it is a very interesting take on what they're doing with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. But I don't know.
It's one of the strongest storylines he's done in a long time. Yeah.
It
is still kind of full of tropes and stuff, but the way that they've done it, and to see Roman now versus Roman from like 6-7 years ago, where he was like forced down our throats and whatever. Yeah, that guy is definitely the big dog in WWE now.
Definitely. I mean, I think Cody came out on the Raw afterwards and said that he was like the LeBron James of professional wrestling. I don't really agree with that. I wouldn't put him up there at the top of the, I'm not putting him on Mount Rushmore of wrestling or anything like that at the moment. But, certainly if he keeps it up for a few more years, he's definitely going to be up there like a John Cena level. I'm interested to see where they go with it with Sammy and Roman, because if they do Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, have they just sort of wasted the time there for the tag titles, or are they going to take it another way and have Roman defend both belts at Mania and have the SmackDown title go to Sammy and the Raw title go to Cody and have it on two guys again for a bit? I'm not sure.
It's a kind of phrase though. That is what's been discussed in the dirt sheets. It's going to be Roman at Mania, 2 belts.
Yeah,
2 belts, 1 man, all that kind of nonsense. But I think win or lose, it's probably going to turn around to even though they said, and we've all heard this over the years, but last time ever, with Brock and Roman and stuff like that, them two together are money.
Yeah. But I also thought to myself, watching the Rumble, I really want to see Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley program. I really want to see a Walter versus Brock Lesnar program.
Oh, we call him Gunther now, sadly.
Sorry, Gunther. Yeah, sorry, yeah. But those types of match, big beefy boys fighting each other. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Come on, WWE, do give it to me.
I think a triple threat. If we had Gunther, Lesnar, and Lashley.
God, I don't think I could take that, Dickkie.
Too much beef. I'm a vegan, goddammit.
No titles on the line. They don't need it. I mean, Gunther being in that match with Lashley and Lesnar gives him more star credibility. It builds him up. They don't have to have a title on the line. That would be a heavy hitting match. Doesn't matter who wins. They're all going to come out getting their profile raised, aren't they?
Definitely. Yeah. It's going to help Gunther more than the other two, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a way of putting him over without actually necessarily putting him over. He doesn't have to get the win, but he can hang with them two. Them two beat 7 shades of shit out of each other. Whatever the finish will be, if Gunther's still stood on his feet, people are like, yeah, man, this guy's got it.
I want to see big slap bruises and fucking shreds and everything on Lashley and Lesnar, and Gunther take 3 F5s in a row and still get up. I mean, he was the biggest, hottest thing on the Indies before Vince and his boys signed him up.
Yeah, yeah. And he was slapping, to coin a phrase, vanilla midgets left, right, and centre on the Indies. And it looked great when he's doing it against, your Cody Rhodes and your Young Bucks and your smaller guys. But when he's up against a Brock Lesnar or a Lashley and that type of beef, it looks even more impressive, I think, sometimes.
So when he was in NXT and challenging Pete Dunne for the UK Championship, that was I literally lost sleep over that. I was like, Pete Dunne's going to get absolutely fucking murdered by this fella. And I love Pete Dunne. We should be doing a lot more with him in WWE.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. And what was the other guy with the tash called? There was 3 guys that went on GMTV.
Yes, I remember that because a couple of weeks before that, Piers Morgan had been giving it all the big one about Greg's vegan sausage rolls coming out.
Yeah.
And when I found out that them 3, so it was Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Trent Seven.
Yes.
The beefiest vegans in wrestling. And I found out they were going to be on the next show. I was like, I'm watching this. Piers Morgan, nowhere to be fucking seen, mate.
But yeah, those 3 they should be doing. If I don't, to be fair, I don't know if they're all still signed. But yeah, Pete Dunne definitely. Didn't he change his name to Butch?
Yeah. After if you get a chance on the WWE network, go and watch the recent from about probably 2-3 years ago, the War Games, NXT War Games. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. Some of those newer War Games have been really good matches, to be fair. They've held up to the 1991 classic Sting Squadron versus the Dangerous Alliance. One of the greatest War Games matches of all time. But anyway,
it's just big spot after big spot after big spot. It's phenomenal.
Fantastic stuff. Awesome. Well, yeah. Hopefully they will start using Pete Dunne a little bit more, and hopefully they'll do Gunther, Walter, whatever his fucking name is.
I do think, yeah.
Brock. And who else do you what else do you want to see at Mania?
Mania. See, I was going to say, I think this was a good Rumble because I'm kind of one of them classic casual viewers. I drip in and out. I'll watch certain pay-per-views. Basically, Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are the ones that I'm guaranteed to watch and everything.
Yeah.
And I think WWE did a great job this year. I'm a sucker for Rumble's gone by where they bring out constant shock surprises and they bring back old schools and
it's Tatanka.
And I love that because you get a little bit of hype off it, don't you? And it's really nostalgic and fun. But I have to say, I think this Rumble was a really good outing of showing the current talent and the ability to show actually we don't have to rely on old school. Obviously there were the rumors, The Rock's going to come back and win it. Austin's going to come back and win it. Yeah. We heard all these sort of rumors thrown around. I think, this was a real good outing to demonstrate. Look, the current roster is as good as any roster's ever been. Like performance-wise, there's stuff going on that you wouldn't have seen in the Attitude or previous eras.
1995. This was not. They weren't shipping in talent from AAA and bringing back Dick Murdoch, and this Rumble was not half an hour long. But yeah, it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. To be fair, I give the sort of Rumble like an 8 out of 10. So I think, like I say, it definitely showcased the current talent that they've got very well. I thought.
For me to give it a 10 out of 10, you needed an Edge-esque return, because like Twitter before he came back, he was like, I'm not coming back, shut the fuck up, I'm not coming back. And then as soon as you think you know me, I literally jumped up and was like, what the fuck? And I need moments like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I will tell you what my favourite Royal Rumble moment of this year was, though. Again, Shackleford, we all went away for like a little weekend break, hanging out and stuff. We were all talking wrestling, talking about the Royal Rumble, getting a bit excited about it and stuff. Dave Foreman, singer, guitarist of Shackleford, not really a wrestling fan. He got drawn into the hype with it all and stuff, and decides he wants to put a bet on it. And the next morning he wakes up realizing that he bet on Kevin Owens to win the Royal Rumble, and then furious that he bet on a guy who's not even in the fucking Rumble. He's like, he's like, my boy wasn't even in it. That's probably my favourite thing about this year's Rumble.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. Right, on that note then, let's get crack on with the reason we're here. Let's open today's meeting and talk about the best and the worst from the 80s of music and packages. So by packages, we mean, you know, like away from the ring videos. Yeah, we all agreeing on that? So it's not a wrestler doing a promo in the ring. But I will allow, just because it's the 80s and there's not many packages really in the 80s, more of a 90s thing. I will allow Piper's Pits, your Piper's Pits, your Snake Pits, your Flower Shops, and your Brother Loves the show. But so let's have a discussion about this. So let's start with the best, and then we'll work our way to the worst. So music-wise, we've all picked 2 songs each for the best and 2 songs for the worst. So Niall, you start us off, mate. What have you got? What's your first song?
Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior original entrance theme all day long. Because how can you not get pumped listening to that?
It is a pumping tune. It is a pumping tune, and it sneaks in. It just sneaks in, coming in at like 1989. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's a thunderous tune though. That one. Yeah, we'll play it. We'll play a clip of them all.
Down. I just think it really captured what I mean. He was a dog shit wrestler, but an absolute 100% amazing character, and it just captures him like. You can imagine him like sat backstage and then be like, I can't be arsed tonight. And then his music hits, sprints down, shakes the rope, gorilla presses someone, out the door, collects his paycheck, done. And he's still buzzing off his entrance music as he goes by.
And the cocaine that's flowing through his body.
Well, yeah. Mostly the cocaine.
Yeah, I think for music to like kind of the audio to match the presentation of a wrestler, the visual, the energy, everything. Yeah, like they nailed it with that tune. Like that is Ultimate Warrior in audio form, isn't it?
Yeah, Jim Johnston classic.
Yeah, fantastic.
Is it a Jim Johnston? Is it?
Yes, an original Jim Johnston. Yes, yeah.
Because like in my research of songs, there was a lot of Jimmy Hart stuff in the era, and I can see Jim Johnston comes in and stuff. Like the things I looked at, it's much more Jimmy Hart, but Jim Johnston's got a few stamps here. So this one's Johnson, is it? Okay, nice.
Yeah. You can tell Jimmy Hart's ones because they've got lyrics. And early Jim Johnson stuff is very instrumental, but later on he puts a few lyrics in here and there, sort of thing. But early on Jim Johnson is sort of very instrumental and very electronic-y as well. If you listen to his drum beats, fantastic. Right, Dickkie. So, what's your first one, mate?
So, I'm going with "It's All About the Money." The $1 Million Man.
See, now, it's sort of ABBA inspired this one, isn't it, really? It reminds me of ABBA for some reason. I think it's just because of the way they say money. I'm not sure.
It's the perfect heel Money. I mean, at the time, he was sort of their perfect heel presentation, wasn't he? That the kind of rich guy, like looking down, everyone's got a price, everything like that. But perfect heel music. It was like, and the tune almost gets under your skin because it's like really repetitive. So you're pissed off with the music already. You're pissed off with him. Ted DiBiase's like mugging you off through the music, like just laughing and saying everyone's got a price, like just giving you shit through the audio as well as it's coming out. But also, I think this really was sort of like, it's a precursor. It shows the impact of it. It's a precursor to the McMahon family's music. I think this is basically the inspiration of not only No Chance, but also obviously Shane McMahon's Here Comes the Money. They looked at DiBiase's theme tune and were like, man, this is it. This gets under people's skin. This pisses people off.
It does its job excellently for pissing people off, but it's got a very funky beat underneath it as well. When the sort of chorus stops and it's just the music, it's got a funky beat to it. It's like a sort of mid-18 music, you know, like when they're driving in the van to sort of build something to beat the bad guys with. That kind of music you've been playing in the background.
But again, imagine like 80s era wrestling, like very family friendly and stuff like that. Imagine if you're a parent who's taking your kid to watch wrestling. It's simple storytelling. You know who the fuck the bad guy is. Comes out, just some music. Money, money, money. I've got money, you haven't got money. Straight away. This guy's a prick, ain't he? I'm going to boo for him. Like, there you go. He's got to be... 10 seconds into it, you know what the deal is.
You've hit the nail bang on the head. I showed Catherine the $1 Million Man the other day. Catherine, my wife, she's not into wrestling in the slightest. She lets me have this thing. And I was watching a $1 Million Man promo, and she came in the room. She went, "That guy looks like an angry Noel Edmonds."
He really did.
And he really did. But she watched the promo, and about the end of it, she said, "That guy's a dick." Just walked off.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, don't overthink it. Keep it simple. They nailed it.
Simple, smart.
I'm not saying I'm particularly into the tune, but like as an entrance music, I mean, yeah, they've got it wrapped up. They know what they're doing.
It works. It works every time. My first pick is going to be Jake the Snake Roberts' theme tune. It's the coolest music in the world. You can listen to it now today. It's like synth wave. It's dark synth wave, I would describe it as.
I was close to picking this one, to be fair. It's a banger.
It is a banger. You can listen to this, and this originally was background music for a Hulk Hogan workout video on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Is that right?
That's what it got used for originally, right? Well, I think it's like the second or third episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. It's just Hogan working out and Jake's music's going on in the background, and it's very bizarre to see and hear and to fit the two together, you know. But once he gets put with Jake, it just fits. Everything fits. It's like the final piece of that jigsaw. Put that music with Jake, put the snake with him. Off you pop, mate, into the ring. Don't shout. Just, you know, quietly tell people you find into the microphone.
Yeah, when everyone else was yelling, he was like the absolute master of being understated.
Yeah, and they gave him a talk show. They gave like a Piper's Pit after Piper's Pit had finished and the Flower Shop had finished. They gave him his own talk show, and it didn't work. It didn't work in the slightest. If you watch some of the snake pits, every wrestler, because the snake's on its own in a little pit, and then Jake stood behind him with a microphone, and everyone comes out behind him through like a sort of curtain, and every wrestler who comes out shits themselves the minute they see the big pipe. They just take a double take and go, oh shit, no, I can't be near this thing. And so they all hang out behind Jake, and they're all just trying to run off before he DDTs them or does something. It's hilarious. But the snake pit itself is not a very good platform, I don't think, for him. But he was on the mic. He was one of the best ever.
Oh, absolutely,
game changer, I would say.
But his music was absolutely. I'd say to this day, you could put that on, put some shades on, a nice leather jacket, and walk down the street and be a cool cat.
It's interesting though that you're saying it was like music that was already created though, because like going back to like Niall with your Ultimate Warrior, it feels so perfect for him. Like, it was written for him. When I was listening to tunes earlier, trying to think which ones I'd pick, and I was tempted with this one because it's got that almost like it is like a snake waiting in ambush, isn't it? It's like it's gentle. It's like it's coiled up. It's waiting. It's like prone to attack.
Yeah,
it ain't let out yet, but it's like okay. There's like a uncertainty,
ominousness to the music. Where you're just waiting for an attack, waiting for something to happen. It just makes you feel so much could happen here at any moment, sort of thing.
And that was Jake Roberts all over. I mean, the DDT, that finish and stuff, like everything was just calm, calculated, exploded when it needs to, and that's why I'm surprised the music predated his entrance. I thought it would be absolutely written for him because it suits him perfectly.
Just going off a slight tangent, you mentioned Hulk Hogan's workout videos. Have you ever seen Scott Steiner's workout videos?
I've not, but I want to now. I'm going to search them out.
Yeah. What era?
Yes. He's talking post WCW, pre WWE, and it's just the most cringe fucking thing you've ever seen. It's yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that. I mean,
I'll send you a link.
His TNA run was legendary, and the maths program in TNA was absolutely fantastic. His WWE run was appalling, but sometimes that's good, and it was funny to watch. I mean, he came in with all the hype in the world. When he comes in at Survivor Series,
it was the Rumble, right? Was it Survivor?
He comes in at Survivor Series 2002, and he beats up Matt Hardy and Chris Nowinski. He beats them two up, and then at the Rumble he fights Triple H in 2003.
Yeah.
And sort of like I've got all of 2003's DVD pay-per-views on DVD, and you've got a nice picture on the spines. But you can see the decline of Scott Steiner throughout the year. So by the time SummerSlam comes around, I think he's fired.
Yeah,
he's not with the company anymore. So he's like lasted, a good 6 months, and then just go, nah, mate, it's not working. See you in a bit. He was definitely with Test and Stacy Keibler for a while. They had a feud, and then
it was. He was going up against Triple H, and Triple H was like in God mode at that time. No one was going to beat him.
No, but at least he could get a good match out of people, but he couldn't get a good match out of Scott Steiner at the Rumble or the pay-per-view after the. I can't remember the name of that thing now, but there's another pay-per-view. He had a second match, the pay-per-view after on the way to Mania, and that was god awful. That was in Montreal. No Way Out.
Yes,
Montreal. Yeah, No Way Out, 2003. Bloody hell, there we go. Right, Niall, give us your second best music.
It's a deep cut, this one.
Okay.
I'll probably get shit for it, but I fucking love it. The Rougeau brothers.
You absolute bastard. This is my other choice.
Really? It's a popular one.
From Montreal to Memphis.
Yeah.
Mate, this is a great song. I didn't pick it, but you know the French part of this song when they're singing in French.
Yeah, it's basically saying fuck you to the American fans.
Exactly, yeah. They're saying, don't listen to us or what we're saying in our song. You French people, you're the best. You know, the Americans, these are idiots. They don't understand what we're doing. Don't worry about it. We're still nice to you guys. It's a fantastically layered song.
That was a Jimmy Hart number as well, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of mine are Jimmy Hart inspired choices.
Yeah, I mean, if it counted, I would have picked The Mountie because I absolutely love that song. It's just the right level of stupidity. The music is just completely off key and it's fantastic. But it's a 90s song. That's a very early 90s song.
Yeah.
But
weirdly, in my research earlier, looking at it, it's stupidly long as well. If you look at the track list, it's 4 minutes long for the Mountie song. And it's just the same thing looped over and over again.
And yeah, you go crazy, stir crazy if you listen to that for too long. It's brilliant.
I love it.
But yeah, from Montreal to Memphis.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous français, tell all the girls the Rougeos are on their way.
The Rougeos, of course, being most famous for their beef with Dynamite Kid as well, weren't they?
I read about that earlier.
Yes, there's a fantastic video of Jacques Rougeau just telling the story of what happened. And I think it's one of those where it was on YouTube back in the day. So it was 9 parts of 10 minutes each. Jacques Rougeau telling his story about Dynamite just beat him up one day backstage when they were playing cards. So him and Ray trained for a week, and Jacques Rougeau got a roll of quarters in his hand and just went up to Dynamite and absolutely leathered him and knocked his front teeth out. And then
do you know why he actually, that fight, from what I was reading about them earlier today, apparently that fight happened because in classic Mr. Perfect style, he pulled a rib on the Rougeau brothers that made it look like Dynamite Kid was the one who pulled the prank off. So that's when they went and socked him with a fistful of quarters, knocked out 4 of Dynamite Kid's teeth, and there's Mr. Perfect hiding in the corner.
Well, the way Jacques Rougeau tells it, was Dynamite beat them up because they were whinging about a rib that Kurt had played that made it look like they'd done. So he beat them up first. Jock went away, trained up, and then was like, right, this is how we're going to do it. And we planned it like this, boom, 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 boom. And 2 days later is the first Survivor Series. Oh, sorry, not the second Survivor Series. Because it starts with a big, giant tag team match. And the first people in it are the Rougeaus and versus the Bulldogs. And Dynamite has to be very nice to them because the Bulldogs are actually leaving and Dynamite's going off to Japan. So that's the last time you see the Bulldogs in the WWE. But yeah, Dynamite's got no front teeth.
If you watch,
if you follow up on that though, that match apparently, like, because the Rougeaus were legit scared that they was going to get a receipt. They wrote the match that the Rougeaus are the first eliminated, and they kept the Bulldogs into the end of the match. So by the time they get out the ring, Rougeaus are in the car and down the road. They've gone.
Montreal to Memphis, they're off.
Yes. If you watch the Dynamite Kid episode of what the fuck is it called?
Dark Side of the Ring?
That's it. Yeah. The way that the Rougeaus tell it is just full of absolute glee when he's like, so I get the quarters, I get them around my hand, and I'm like, oh, go on.
Go on, mate. Go on. Tell us. Well, fantastic choice, though. So, Dickkie, have you got another one?
There was just the other best song for me was the Fabulous Rougeau Brothers, the All Americans. Like, again, and basically, it just comes down to this one verse in it where the what's it called? The lines are, we don't like heavy metal, we don't like rock and roll. All we like to listen to is Barry Manilow.
Yes.
I mean,
what? American boys. But again, that totally does what it's supposed to do, in that they're heels. This music is supposed to piss you off. It's supposed to do, and and it gets under your skin. It's like, I mean, this is a 90s one, so I can't pick this, but it's this is one of my favorite songs of all time. The American Males theme tune from WCW. They're supposed to be faces, and that music is designed for heels. I don't care what anyone says. that is designed for heels. But fantastic tune, though.
Yeah, it really shows. It's brilliant. Like, just playing out that faux patriotic thing. Didn't they used to come out with like tiny little American flags as well and stuff, almost like mocking Hacksaw Jim Duggan and that sort of ultra patriotic era? Like, so good.
Jimmy Hart was come out with a Montreal jacket on and stuff like that as well. Joining it, just fantastic. They had a really good finishing move as well. Like, one of them had lift the guy up, and the other one would go up to the top rope and sort of like almost crotch first jump on the chest and off the top rope, and it was a devastating move if you pulled off correctly.
Yeah, but that was my second choice. So me and Niall, we're in sync.
I was in two minds. I was like, it is a great song. Is anyone going to pick it?
Yeah, I thought it was a deep dive as well. So fair play.
Well, for my second one, I'm going with another sort of synth wavy one, but I'm going with the Midnight Express theme from the NWA, WCW Crockett era of wrestling world. FTR in AEW have currently sort of using a 2022-2023 remix, if you will, of this song, but it is. The minute you listen to it, you know you're listening to a song from the 80s, and it is a fantastic song. I don't know if it fits the team perfectly or anything like that, but music-wise, I think it's peak 80s wrestling greatness. You know, and I mean, I could go obscure with Muta's tunes from Japan or something like that, but the theme that a very close second was the Bushwhackers theme tune.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah.
Now that's another song where you listen to it and you can walk down the street bobbing your head quite easily to the Bushwhackers theme tune. You know, you can even start doing the dance maybe, but I'm not sure if that's 90s really. If that falls into the 90s more than the 80s. But yeah, my second choice is going to be Midnight Express theme.
That's a deep dive. I gotta say, it's not coming straight to me.
Well, don't worry, Dickkie. We'll be dropping it in so you can have a listen to it now.
Nice. Nice. I had a couple of honorary mentions which I was going to pick, which we won't go into. But
no.
Honky Tonk Man. I mean,
no. Which one?
Which
one have you got?
I can't remember what it's called, but just the classic one where he'd come out and like sing and mug off the crowd. He's the Honky Tonk Man.
Right.
Man.
That's his second one. So
is that right?
Yeah, when he wins the Intercontinental Championship off Steamboat, he's got a one called "I'm a Honky Tonky Man," and it's got more of a sort of. It starts off with a drum beat, and that drum beat. After he becomes the Intercontinental Champion, that song sticks with him for a bit. I think till Mania 5, I think, something around there. And the heat that drum beat gets, the heat,
really?
Oh mate, all you're gonna do is boom. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
The other honorary mention for me was Big Boss Man.
Oh, classic, Cobb County, Georgia.
Georgia.
That does, I think, to be fair, mate,
it's always that 90s now.
I think that may be a 90s one only because that's more. When he came in, he was with Akeem the African Dream as the Twin Towers.
Was that when he first joined?
And he was a heel, and he actually. He fell in a weird time because he came in as a heel when they were doing No Holds Barred, and so they had Zeus. but they also wanted to put Bossman up against Hogan. So there's a cage match where so there's a cage match with Hogan, Saturday Night Main Event, against Big Boss Man. As he's walking towards the ring, Hogan, Zeus is stood on the steps on the ring with his arms crossed, saying like, "You've got to get past me to get in the cage to get to Boss Man." So and that always sticks in my mind. So Boss Man's a heel in the 80s, so he's not really got that Cobb County, Georgia song. That's more early 90s. Yeah.
But again, another Jimmy Hart song. I like the Russo brothers. I think the Honky Tonk Man. It's lyrics. I realise that's what I'm into in that era. I like your corny sing-along songs.
Well, we're going to get to a Jimmy Hart song in my worst of things in a moment. But Niall, give us the first worst song from the 80s that you've got.
I can't remember if this is 80s or 90s, but it's always stuck in my head. And like any time I watch any of this guy's matches, I'll fast forward his music. Bastion Booger.
Bastion Booger's 90s.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, he's what was we thinking there now? What we're talking, 94, 95, around them. And it's just burps and farts noises, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's a little beat underneath it. Yeah. See, this is the problem we've got with the 80s, right? They don't. So 85 is Mania, and by Mania 5, everybody's got music. But at Mania 3 and 4, not everyone's got music still. And they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're doing. And I think it's by the time they get to 5, they're properly rolling with everything. They know exactly what they're doing now. They get their packages out there. Everyone's got a song. It's personalized to them. People can recognize them that instantly start playing. It's because in the 80s, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's using Jefferson Lake Palmer, is it?
Emerson Lake and Palmer,
yeah. There's pop songs. Eye of the Tiger was Hogan's original song, because that All American. What's the bloody song called? What's Hogan's?
Real American.
Real American. That's it. That wasn't his original song. That was for a tag team with Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, the American Express. That was their original theme. Yes. Oh yeah. But
was just on intro music as a whole, I'm sure I saw on a documentary once, and you guys will know better than I do. Was Sergeant Slaughter the first to have entrance music
in the WWF?
Is that just within that one? So I'd heard he said he'd got a cassette tape with like kind of like the drill call or something, some kind of like bugle, and like he had a cassette and he went, "Play this," and I'm going to walk down to this. But he wasn't the first. Within that territory. Yeah,
he was the first to say to Vince's dad, "Can I have music and play that?" So the first guy, I think, the first people officially were the Freebirds with Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Down here on Bad Street, Atlanta, GA. Which is a tune, and I'm sorry I didn't pick it. That has got to be on my honourable mention list. If you can listen to that, any of the Freebird songs after that, do not listen to. Don't touch with a brush. They're absolutely awful. But the original one's got a nice bit of 80s rock metal vibes to it. It's quite nice.
All right. So
who was it that did the Rap is Crap one?
Rap is Crap was Kurt Hennig and what were they called? They were in WCW later on in late 90s, 99, 98, around then. West Texas, something like that. Rednecks, West Texas Rednecks. I'm sure they were called that. And it was like Barry Windham, Kurt Hennig. Oh, I want to say who's Barry Windham's brother? Wendell Windham. Is it something like that? Yeah. It was a very, oh shit, what are you doing here? That rap is crap. Oh, that was late 90s, that one, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not coming back to me.
But sorry, go on. So, Dickie, give us your second. Your
My
first worst song of the 80s.
I'm a little bit worried now that it might just peak in 1990.
It's all right, mate. Don't worry. I'll let you know.
and it's a controversial one. Hopefully I can come back on the show after this. But
you're part of the stable, of course.
Yeah.
I'm going to say "What a Rush" by Legion of Doom.
Well, right.
You banned.
You're picking this for the worst.
Not worse. My argument is, I mean, we've heard the term like the Road Warrior pop and stuff, and the intro, what a rush! Like, God, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
If we're looking at it from like a song point of view, because after you hear that, you don't on pay-per-views and matches when you watch it back, you don't hear much of the rest of the music because everyone's just fucking losing their mind because it's the Road Warriors, it's LOD, just screaming. If like today you sit there and listen to the song, it ain't that great a song. It's
weak. It's weak sauce. The song, yeah, definitely.
It's just this generic 5-chord sequence on repeat, just again and again. No, it doesn't change its like melody or anything. There's no change to it. Like honestly, if you change the production on it, you'd think it was like one of Weezer's new songs or something like that. It's
just took the Hawk out at the start and just this is Weezer's new track. Sing along. And every now and again he's got that sort of
it's kind of like when
you'd call it a big slide, but it's not.
It's kind of there's two comparisons to this. So there's Edge's music when you hear like You Think You Know Me, and it went into his old music, and now it goes into that wankery. And it's also like when you heard the full version of Spaceman by Babylon Zoo for the first time.
Now that's a deep dive.
The intro's amazing, but once he kicks into the song, I don't like this.
and it's no diss on the LOD. I mean, God, I love a gimmick. I'm from like my favorite wrestlers are always like Mick Foley, Mankind, like Kane, and the LOD. I remember like especially when it was like SummerSlam and stuff. My God, I was desperate for a pair of them foam pads with the spikes. I love LOD.
Yes. I think it's SummerSlam '92. There's a kid in the crowd giving it big licks, and he's got a pair of the pads on. And you just think, you look cool bastard.
Yeah, and
you look cool bastard.
Because you know it's in England. It's like, oh, it was within your grasp, but out of your grasp. Because none of us are going to SummerSlam. But yeah, like I know just that. I mean, I loved LOD. Well, but actually, when you break it down, you're like, oh, okay. After the pop, it's a bit boring. Just, and I think that's why they rushed to the ring. They smashed it.
I'm going to piggyback on you, and I'm going to allow yours. It is 90. They did come. Is
it technically 90?
Just jumped in 90, but we'll allow it because I'm going to pick the Legion of Doom. But I'm going to pick the Legion of Doom from the AWA, the Jim Crockett era, and all those sort of things, because they came out to a version of Iron Man that they recorded themselves, and they're singing, and all they sing is "We Are Iron Men," and it's like being at a practice with the Crash Mats, the band, where the guitarist has just learned a portion of a song and has said, and for the last 20 minutes has been playing it going, we should do a cover of this. But honestly, it's
so how long did they use that for then?
Most of the 80s, because they went to Japan and they were in different territories. Really, they were the last, I think, territory wrestlers that Vince I hadn't got the big draw, one of the big draws at least anyway. But yeah, they used their own version of Iron Man. It is shit.
I can't wait to hear it.
Their episode of Dark Side of the Ring was fucking phenomenal as well.
Yeah. I mean, their whole career has been. I mean, like after Wrestle, do you know about this Hawk and SummerSlam '92? Didn't either of you know about that? No.
Hawk,
mentioned on the episode.
Did I? It was Hawk. Was Animal was the one with the thing on his head and the elaborate face paint. Hawk was the one who had just had two sort of like little bits. Hawk left the WWE, just quit. After SummerSlam '92 and joined a motorbike gang in England. Joined a Hells Angels group in England with another wrestler, but I can never remember who the other wrestler was. I want to say Crush, but I don't think it was Crush. I think it was someone else. So Animal went to Japan and started the Hellraisers with another wrestler over there in Japan. And Hawk did like 6 or 7 months of just traveling the UK, being in a motorbike gang. I think that's fucking fantastic.
It's bizarre though, because like for the wild life that they lived on the road, I think was it Hawk that like just died completely peacefully. Like I remember vaguely on the Dark Side of the Ring episode where like he moved house, he cleaned up and everything, and he was just moving into the house, and like his wife walked upstairs and there he was on the bed, like heart attack, gone. And I'm like, you would not expect that from that. Yeah, like the early part of the episode is talking about bar fights and like the little wrestling kind of.
And they're from Minnesota, aren't they?
Yeah. So and like the scene up there, yeah.
Them, Rick Rude, Jesse Ventura, and there was a couple of others who were mates. They all sort of were bouncers at a bar, weren't they?
Yeah.
WWF.
WWF.
Didn't as well at that SummerSlam, like they came out on the Harleys and everything, didn't they? And so, but like I've seen something like, didn't one of them like park it too close to like the railings? And with a Harley, apparently, like you got to climb off the one side of the bike, the opposite side to the exhaust pipe, because it gets fucking hot. And basically, he had been boxed in by the other, so he had to get off on the wrong side of the bike. Melted his fucking tights, 3rd-degree burns before the match even starts. He's like melted like latex or like whatever it is all over his legs. He's like, no, I've got to fucking wrestle a match. Like I need a doctor already.
Incredible.
Beasts.
Brilliant. Okay, brilliant. But yeah, so my worst pick is the LOD's theme tune from everywhere else but the WWE, their own version of Iron Man. Niall, give us your second one, mate.
Probably another controversial one. It's another faction. I hated Demolition's music.
Mate, me and you, we're in sync.
No, we're all three of us are in sync on this one. Right, I had this written down on my list, and it took me. I had got a controversial one for mine, I think, but.
Can I just say to the listeners, though, we are in pretty much constant contact in a little group chat, but we have not revealed to each other.
Not at all.
Not at all. I am 100% with you on this. Everyone cites this as being a classic song and being a brilliant song. It is shit.
Yeah, it is absolute dog shit.
Yeah, it's like you get excited for it. We think, oh, Demolition sound brilliant. This is going to be a great one, and it starts, and it's just awful, absolutely awful.
Also, here comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. He weren't called Smasher. I mean, off the bat, you're calling them the wrong names. That's bullshit.
Exactly.
And it felt like they were trying to do like, I don't know, like a family-friendly version of like fucking like cock rock or something like that. It sounded like, honestly, it reminds me of what's it called? The Big Bottom by Spinal Tap. My baby fits me like a flesh tuxedo. I love to sink her with my pink torpedo. Like it's tantamount to that, but like in a safe enough way that parents aren't going to get outraged by it.
Weren't they supposed to be like Vince's version of LOD?
I think, and that's it, isn't it? Again, it's a budget version of them.
He had a lot of them around this time because he couldn't actually sign them. So he had Demolition. He had Powers of Pain, The Warlord and the Barbarian. He put Seeker from Afro and Seeker. He put him with Kamala, and those two had like Kimchi and Mr. Fuji as the manager for a little while. And then
called the Generic Foreigners. Just Vince's racist stable.
Vince's racist savages. Don't headbutt these guys. That won't work.
Yeah.
And they've also got an interpreter under a mask. Kimchi always fascinated me. Kamala's handler. That was bizarre. But Vince had a hard on for sort of LOD stereotypes and knockoffs around this time. And I think the music sort of fits Demolition's look perfectly and everything like that. But it's just turgid. It's just awful. Like it's very slow. It's got this sort of heaviness to it, but there's also this MIDI sort of beat in the background almost with it as well. And it's just not good. Not good. Good choice now. I'm 100% with you on this one.
Demolition shouldn't ever have gone on as long as they did, because to see them in later years, you just like literally, ew.
Hey, I met a couple of wrestlers a few years ago at Old Trafford for the Man United football ground. Warrior, Bret Hart, and I met Sonny, Honky Tonk Man. It was the other one. I got a Brutus Barber Beefcake. So I've got a picture with me and Brutus Barber Beefcake, me and the Honky Tonk Man, and me and Sonny. But Demolition were there as well, and both of them had the face paint on.
I've seen this, yeah.
And both of them were sat there with just like golf shirts on, and like bald heads. It was a depressing sight. It really was.
It's a bit tragic because it's like there's not enough star power that without the makeup you don't know who I am.
Exactly. I mean, and Barry Darso is a lovely man on Twitter, and he's very nice. But if you bring up Repo Man to him, he does not like that.
Repo Man's fucking great.
Exactly. Repo Man's fantastic. When he stole Macho Man's hat on the second episode of Raw, fantastic stuff.
Repo Man's theme tune was close to going into my great songs, actually.
Unfortunately, that is a 90s one, though, that one, definitely.
Oh, is it? Yeah, much like, what about Owen Hart's one? Because this is the other one that...
I'll allow that because he used that as the Blue Blazer around WrestleMania 5 time. So yes, I will allow that is a funky tune.
There's similarities to the Repo Mans, I think, within that, if I remember right. But yeah,
definitely, yeah. But I would allow that one definitely. But yeah. So yeah, sorry, Dickie, you give us your second worst pick.
Demolition.
Demolition.
That's the one I'd got down. I did have an honorary mention, which I'll throw out as my I guess my second choice now, because just me and Niall are too aligned with each other. The other one was the Nasty Boys.
Oh, now this is controversial for me.
That's cutting it.
I love this song.
Do you?
Yeah, it's 90s. It is 90s.
I said no.
Because
I listened to the wrong album for my research. I found on Spotify it was called the Federation Year, so I'm like, that's got to be 80s.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I know the one you mean. But no, they just creep into the 90s just. But to me, I fucking love that song. That is so 90s. And it's again one of those songs that the minute it starts playing, boom!
I just
does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, but to me, like the one with the scratching,
yeah, and to me, it sounds like a man who's washing his car window.
This is it. This is what I was going to say. Like it's like okay, we recognise the like hip hop and stuff. It's underground. It's a bit out there. Like, shall we maybe bring in like a hip hop artist, somebody who knows how to scratch? And they've just looked around and gone, fuck it. No, I've got a record player over there. I could do this. Wicka, 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 wicka. There's no attempt. There is no attempt to do it. But that was an honorary mentioning. Demolition's the one against the bad rap.
Can't wait for the 90s episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get. Oh, mate, we're gonna get so deep on the 90s one. Don't worry, we're gonna need a couple one for the 90s anyway. We're already decided we'll split that one up. Right, mine. This is going to be controversial. It may be. I'm not sure, but the Heart Foundation's theme tune, which later on turned on into Bret Hart's music, but the original Heart Foundation music is like a loading screen from a shit Nintendo game, like a shit NES game, like, you know, a Fantastic Four game on the Super NES, not even the Super Nintendo, the NES, like the loading screen for that. It's so chip tune, MIDI, drums. It's absolutely awful. And again, people think it's up there like the Demolition one. People think, oh, it's great, absolutely great. It's not. It's shit. Stop it. Stop putting this up there. Stop it. So, yeah, that's mine.
So what, would this have been in like the WWF? Or would they have used this kind of like in territories as well?
This is WWF. So this was from, they got this in around 86, 87. So it's from then. And they start using it then until they split up, and then Bret takes that but sort of adds to it a little bit, and the at the start, the guitar lick at the start comes in, the build up just becomes better, and it becomes a more well-rounded song when Bret's using it. But when it's just the Heart Foundation, it's the bare bones NES MIDI that kind of noise in the back. It's a shit song. It's a shit song.
That sounds incredible to me. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that thing, 8-bit punk rock, where it's 8-bit versions of punk rock songs. Yeah. 8-bit wrestling themes. Yeah, I could get on board with that as well. So I'm going to love listening to this one.
To be fair, I think I'd be more enjoying of the 16-bit wrestling songs. I mean, I remember, Raw on the Mega Drive, and having Royal Rumble on the Mega Drive and stuff like that. So 16-bit wrestling tunes, yeah, I'll get with that. 8-bit is probably a bit too
bit too far.
Right, let's move on to packages. Let's talk about some packages. Like I say, with 80s, we're a little bit short on the packages, but there were some, and WWE came, like I said before, by the time we get to WrestleMania 5, 89, they're sort of fucking running with it and they're going with it. But there are some decent packages. So Niall, did you get? Are we all picked 2 packages?
I got to say, I'm underprepared on this bit, so I'm just going to try and give some input on your guys.
Cool, no worries, mate.
I'm going to start with my worst package, which I sent in the chat.
All right, okay, yeah.
Jumping Jeff Farmer. That's clearly words on a big fucking board behind the camera.
I don't know if it's that. I think it's just, this is what you've got to get across, Jim. Right? Remember, don't worry about the camera, Jim. Right? Don't be nervous, mate. Just remember, Motley Crue's. You're gonna be fighting them, and away you go, Jim. Off you pop. This is.
And you can tell, like, a couple of minutes before, and he's like, right, yes, going to get my words across eloquently. Gets on the camera, he's like, I am coming for you. Grr.
It's tantamount to, like, you remember the classic Louis through weird weekends when he's trying out and Louis doing the promo, and I forget what his name is. It's not Sarge, it's the other trainer at the power plant, shouting things at him that he's got to try and get through in his promo and just grab it in the headlights.
Pistol Pete Watkins.
That's it, just like the thumb wrestling.
Yeah. Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
Brilliant jobber for WCW.
It's that sort of thing. It's like you've got to include these facts, these stats. This is what you got to get in now and shit. Yeah.
But it just all crumbles completely in the first use. Yep, I don't like it when the tables get turned on me. Motley Cruz, you turn the tables on me. Somebody's obviously said, right, Motley Cruz, get that in. They're the bad guys, yeah? They've turned the tables on you, Jeff, right? So just tell us what you feel. You turned the tables on me, and I don't like it.
It's like he's made bullet points in his mind and he's just grabbing for them. But credit to like the interviewer, he's completely straight-faced the whole way through. Yeah. If that were Gene Okerlund, he'd just be like, get off my stage.
Gene would be pissing himself laughing. Gene would have turned his back. There's a couple of classic ones if you watch. Iron Sheik, Mean Gene interviews are absolutely fantastic. There's one where he actually calls him an intelligent Jew businessman.
Yeah.
And Mean Gene looks at him and then just turns away and sort of smirks, and you can see his shoulders going a little bit. But there's ones where Iron Sheik's pulling a chicken out of a basket. And
it's a turkey for the turkey bowl.
Yes, he has to just turn around.
These were going to be my choices. Like, he's like Iron Sheik spitting on this turkey. He slams the cage on it. I think off screen you could hear Bobby the Brain Heenan like saying he just gave that turkey a potato. Like
that was the thing with Gene and Shaky Baby, because like Gene essentially taught Shake English pretty much.
Is that right?
And how to do his promos and stuff. Because I remember the tweet he sent after Gene passed away. He was like, I love him forever. He got me through interviews. He taught me how to say the right things and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lot of ribbing going on from Gene's side.
They both started together in the AWA, I suppose. Yeah. They would have both been there. So, yeah, Gene would have coached him through. Oh, my God. Yeah, I never thought about that before. Yeah. That's fun. That's amazing. Yeah. But some of those, Gene, you are an intelligent Jew businessman. And you just see Gene's eyes go, what? Okay. Right, he said that then.
Just say something about me being an intelligent businessman or something.
Yeah.
Also, it was Gene Mean. It was never Mean Gene. It was always Gene Mean, wasn't it? With Shaky Baby.
Gene Mean, my baba.
But yeah, also, if you have a look at them, that's like, if you just YouTube, like, Mean Gene outtakes, the stuff he did with Kamala as well, that stuff was brilliant because he's just...
Yeah, he's bollocking him.
Yeah,
for not making
he didn't turn up for like interviews or like telly or something. He's just there reading like bookie statements or something.
My favourite's when the poster falls off the wall behind him and Gene just fucking loses it.
Fuck it.
So yeah, so if we're going best of promos, that's all I'm picking is Mean Gene outtakes. Just all of the Mean Gene outtakes.
All the Mean Gene outtakes. Fantastic.
Like you YouTube them, you're in for a treat. There's one where like he's mugging off. It's Greg the Hammer Valentine, just being really loud and over the top, and he's like brings Valentine's like partner at the time over. He's like, "What's it like when you sit around the table like at Thanksgiving dinner?" He said, "Like, pass the fucking potatoes." This is Mean Gene. This is a family product, but he's just YouTube them. They're great.
Brilliant. Are we doing worst? We're doing worst or best at the minute. Sorry.
I can't.
Best.
Either or.
You started off with Jumping Jeff Farmer.
Yeah, I had to get that one out of the way.
Oh yeah.
That's just throwing me.
We evolved into Mean Gene.
Right, sorry. So if we're doing best, I'm going to say Piper's Pit, but I'm going to say the Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 3, Andre the Giant, Piper's Pits.
Yes.
All lead up
That was
together.
my second choice.
So it starts off with Hogan being awarded an award for being champion for 3 years. and Andre's there next to him and he's being a friend, he's clapping along, everything's great. The next week, Andre gets an award for being undefeated for 15 years. And his award is slightly smaller, sorry, than Hogan's. And, Andre's a little bit miffed. He walks off whilst he's getting the award and Hogan's bigging him up to the crowd. Andre just turns around and walks off. Next week, Hogan comes out on the pit and says, everything's all right. Andre's fine. There's no problems with Andre. And then Bobby Heenan comes out with Andre the Giant. And everyone's like, what's going on? And Andre's turned heel and he challenges Hogan to a match at WrestleMania. And he rips off Hogan's T-shirt in the Piper's Pit and pulls off his chain and actually cuts Hogan's chest. And whilst he's on his knees, Piper's on his knees with Hogan and they're picking themselves up. And Piper just sort of quietly says to Hogan, "You're bleeding." And it's a beautiful little scene. And he makes him stand up and he says, "Are you going to fight Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3? And Hogan gives out this yes roar. That is I swear to God, if you took that and sort of put a little bit of bass in it, you could use it as a roar for a dinosaur for like Jurassic Park World 3 or whatever. It's a fantastic. The whole sequence of things is absolutely fantastic. So that's my pick for best. One of the best, first best promo.
Before Hogan says fight him, he's like looking around his face, hasn't he? He's devastated about having to do it.
Yeah.
I think we touched on this last month as well, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes for that one because basically Hogan wasn't sure that Andre was going to do the job for him, like literally right up until the match itself.
Yeah.
Like Andre was proper getting into his head, like, "We'll see, boss. I don't know, boss," kind of thing. And
playing cards.
I can't remember who actually like slammed Andre beforehand. I think it might have been Big John Studd, but it was definitely not the first time that Andre had been lifted off his feet. But obviously, pre-internet.
It wasn't even the first time Hogan had slammed.
I was about to say, I think Hogan had done it once in Japan or Korea or something, right?
In the WWF. He'd done it when Hogan first came into the WWF, he was a heel. And I think they'd done it on an outdoor show. He slammed him. But this is before he went to the A. Vince's dad. It was before Vince was running things and before Hulkamania started and anything like that. So
there's footage of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But it's not televised in the WWF style.
WWF canon starts.
Yeah.
No. So it may have been. I don't think it was Capital Wrestling. It was WWF. Probably, but it definitely did happen. Definitely. Go on, Niall. Then, are you picking that Hogan Andre as well for the?
No, that was my second choice.
Right. Okay.
My first choice, is Hard Times, brother. Hard Times. Oh my God, that was like there was no shouting, there was no over the top like yelling. It was just what looked like a desperate man.
Yeah.
Just basically kind of almost pleading to Ric Flair. It's like, look, you're rich and all this shit. Let me tell you about hard times, brother. And that whole promo is up there in the top two for me alongside Kane Dewey, which we'll probably get into next month.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. When we get to the late 90s, we'll get to that.
90s part 2, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you my controversial opinion upon that promo when we get to that one. But yeah.
But yeah, Dusty Rhodes was an absolute master of the promo, and he didn't deviate from what he was talking about. He just basically went straight down the line. It's like, I am, a working man, etc., etc. And just to watch that for the first time ever was just like, holy shit.
They took your job,
because I'd grown up with the yellow spotted Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
So I didn't know too much about him, in his fancy suits and his like, big perm and everything. Yeah. And when I watched that for the first time, I was just like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah. There's another one around the same time he does where he says, I have wined and dined with kings and queens.
Yes.
I slept in alleys and ate pork and beans.
Yes.
And for years, I couldn't understand what he was saying at the end of that. I've wined and dined with kings and queens and flibble flabble with pork and beans. I thought that I couldn't understand what he was saying. But Hard Times is a fantastic. Ric Flair, you put Hard Times on America, baby. When you put the Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream on the side, baby. Hard Times when a computer took your job, daddy.
And how they give you the gold watch. But it's like, it's his delivery. It's almost, I mean, obviously it is poetic, but it's just the way it flows, and you just like literally hanging on his every word. And you're like, do you know what, Dusty Rhodes? I want you to beat the living fuck out of Ric Flair. That rich son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Special
I'm
mention
getting
to Ric
goosebumps
Flair.
thinking about
I was gonna pick Flair's shoes cost more than your house promo, which is fantastic. It's just absolutely amazing. But yeah, I've not picked that up. But that, you know, my shoes cost more than your house. I'm having a hard time holding these gators down, baby.
Yeah. If you're on Instagram, check out No Context Flair memes as well. They are just legit.
Brilliant. Oh, they yeah, because you watch some early sort of mid-90s WCW pay-per-views, and there's some weird shit they do with him. There is some strange. There's a pay-per-view, I can't remember which one it is, but they go to his house. He's fighting Vader. I know that. They go to his house. Charlotte's there as a young girl.
Young Ashley.
Ashley. Come here, Ashley. And Ric Flair and Mean Gene. No, Ric Flair, I think it's Mean Gene. It might be Tony Schiavone, though. Him and an announcer driving a limousine from Ric Flair's house to the arena, and they do like interview along the way. And after it starts at the beginning of the pay-per-view, and then it obviously the main event, but it keeps cutting. I don't know how long this car journey was, but it took him a good like 3 hours to get to this arena. Ric Flair must have been like bored shitless to Tony Schiavone by the end of the pay-per-view. Like, I can't wait to get to the arena to fight Vader now. I'm just sick of this bloke. Jesus Christ.
Controversially, though, Ric Flair went downhill for me when he went short back and sides.
Yes, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. In the sort of late 90s time, there was a period where he wouldn't take his t-shirt off to wrestle, and I think he just lost a bit of himself in the late 90s. But it took Triple H apparently to take it to one side and go, "You do know you're Ric Flair, don't you?" To sort of get that back out of him. And I think by the end of his WWE career with Shawn, the match with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania was fantastic.
I'm sorry. I love
you.
Every single grown man watching that night was reduced to tears.
I was in tears. I can tell you I was in tears watching that. Definitely.
That wasn't the end of the career. We had a match a couple of months ago.
No, that was the end of his career.
No, that was the end of it, Dickie.
That was his last ever match.
When Shawn said, "Sorry,
happened.
I love you," and that's when Ric's career ended. I'm sorry. Yeah. In ring, anyway.
To be fair, post that Jay Lethal TNA segment. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
That alone is something worth him
Ric Flair
hanging
was
around.
TNA?
Oh yeah.
I was sure if you were legit then for a minute. You didn't know?
We'll have to wait a good couple of months till we get there, but we'll definitely get there.
It's like a couple of way back when his most recent match was announced. I was literally sitting there reading it on my phone, and like my missus was sat next to me, we were watching TV or something. I literally went, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" My missus was like, "What's up with you?" I was like, "Ric fucking Flair." She's like, "Oh, here we go."
Oh God, here we go. Yeah. What's he going on about now? Oh.
Do you think that's a generational thing, though? Do you think that's going to like fall off the map now? Because obviously, you're Terry Funks, and there's countless wrestlers who just refuse to retire.
Mm.
Do you think like we're past that period now, where like obviously you've got people like who are idolized by younger talent. So I guess Austin, The Rock, people like that who kind of retired and hung up their shoes, the boots a bit earlier. Do you think we won't see, I don't know, like a Kofi Kingston at 72 being like, this is
Just
my
using-
last match ever?
Using his Zimmer to like get back into the ring at the 2072 Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think like it's part of the territory days? Do you think it's an era that we perhaps moved past now?
I don't know. It depends. It depends what level you get to and how, you know, if you get a great gimmick and you get to a Cena level, a Rock level, you don't need to go back really unless your movie career is sort of waning a bit and then, you know, pop away you pop. If you're Bob Holly, what else are you doing? You can't, I mean, unless, you know, you go back to the NASCAR racing.
Oh my God, is that Sparky Plug?
Or Thurman. Good old Thurman.
Which is one of my favourite things, bringing it full circle to the Royal Rumble, first ever winner, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, how he always said he built himself for longevity. He went, I never took a bump. I didn't have like an over-the-top moveset. I punched and kicked. And he was like, and I knew I could work for 40 years doing this. Yeah, and he can still turn up in a ring. He can throw a couple of fists at people. He can stick his thumb up, shout ho, and people will go home happy. And he's like, I built myself for the long run.
I think with this, like your AAA Gold Star, like god tier wrestlers like Shawn Michaels, who when he announced that he was coming back for the Saudi money, I was like, I just lost so much fucking respect for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because he had a great run. He was like, I'm retired. I'm staying retired. You can offer me X, Y, Z. And he went through, you know, doing everything backstage in that. And as soon as it was announced that Shawn Michaels was going to be at Crown Jewel, I was like, mate, don't ruin your legacy. Ric Flair, I think, was always going to work like some kind of match the week after WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
Stone Cold coming back, I definitely do think that is a one and done. And he had a lot of say in picking KO as his opponent because they're the same character, essentially.
Yeah, storytelling is fine.
Yeah,
I guess Undertaker's the big one, really, isn't it, floating out there now? Will Undertaker ever do it again?
I've watched that documentary on the network about him, you know, the one that's split into like several parts. And I get,
Last Ride.
Yeah, I get why he kept coming back when he did. But it always seemed like he was just trying to grasp for something that he couldn't quite reach.
Yeah.
I think he should have been done after the Lesnar. Like out of the street.
Yeah, definitely. That's when it should have ended for him. But again, it's wrestling. And they don't really know when to end something properly.
No.
I think the frustrating thing with Taker as well was the moment where he left his boots in the ring. I was like, that's it. That is it. That is the cherry on your cake. Do not keep ice in it. Do not fucking put anything else on it. Boots, coat, hat in the ring. Iconic fucking moment. Let it go. Yeah. And then he gets back home to Michelle McCool and was like,
I got one more in me.
Yeah, I've got about 7 more in.
I think what happened actually was Michelle McCool walked in with rollerblades and went, look, love, I'm loving life. Come on. and he went, you know what? I think I've got one more in me. I am not loving life enough to get
I've got one more in me. Help me up off the sofa. But yeah, I think like it's a strange one because back in sort of like the 80s, 90s, you didn't have the big sort of wrestlers turned movie stars in the vein that you've got, you know, The Rock, Cena, Batista. They can come back just for the fun of it if they fancy it. And they know that they'll draw as well.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see Batista again.
No, I think he's respectfully, he's like, do you know what, lads? It's been great. I'm a serious actor now.
Yeah.
And to his credit, he really is.
Yeah.
And I think he'll probably come back for Hall of Fame stuff and, you know, all that kind of shit.
Yeah. And like Warrior got, you know, I have no doubt in my mind if he'd have not died the day after that Raw, he would have been brought back for a match somewhere. Definitely.
Right.
You know, definitely. So,
yeah.
Definitely.
I can see Batista. He'll be there like kind of waving and doing a bit of a fan spot and stuff like that. But I think they tested the water, didn't they? When he came back for that rumble after Guardians of the Galaxy and everything, they're like, we kind of misjudged this. He ain't quite that guy.
Yeah, right person, wrong time.
Yeah, he weren't The Rock. He weren't. If he'd have done it a year later, he'd have probably gone over massive. But
apparently, he came to them and said, "Look, I'm in this movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a Marvel film. I can come back and we can, do a bit of promotion." And apparently, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon went, "Nah, that's not going to take off as a film. So we'll not have you for now." And he went, right, fine, fair enough. And then later on, I had to come back again because they were like, money, here's some money, Dave. Do you want some of this money?
Yeah, I think his last match, wasn't that the WrestleMania before COVID? Where he did the whole, give me what I want.
Yes, with
he kidnapped Ric Flair and
dragged Flair's body through like
that
Raw.
Was great.
Yeah, yes, that was.
But the only problem with that Mania, if I remember rightly, including pre-show, was 7.5 hours long. And by the time it got to Triple H and Batista, it was like, watching back on it, it's a good match. But at the time, I'm just like, give me Becky.
Doesn't he pierce his nose or something though?
Yeah.
In that match, yeah, that's that match though. Yeah. Okay, right. Come on now, give us your second best package.
I was gonna say we've gone well off tangent now.
Yeah. Let's get back.
Shit, anything that Ravishing Rick Rude did when he came on the stage. However, one specific instance, and you know what I'm about to say.
Go.
Because he used to have like his trunks like spray painted.
Yeah.
And whose face did he have on it that pissed another wrestler off?
Jake the Snake Roberts' wife.
In kayfabe and in real life.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it Robert's wife, was it? Yeah, I remember he had a face on his crotch.
Yeah. Wow. Mrs. Snake.
I want to have all you sweat hogs.
You filthy sweat hogs. This is what a real man looks like. Oh, I loved him.
Cut my music. If anyone ever says that, cut my music, that instantly is Rick Rude. Instantly.
Yeah. It's just such a shame how they utilised him in DX because he was done by that time as a performer.
Yeah, well, he had to be because he'd signed a massive Lloyd's of London insurance policy thing, and it paid out on him having a bad back and not being able to wrestle. So if he wrestled on TV, he had to pay millions back to the insurance people. So, and that's why he was the insurance policy for Shawn Michaels. And I always thought Rick Rude in DX was a fantastic little thing. He was not really used that way, but it was what I want right now is for all you sweat hogs.
But that particular moment where like he came to the ring and he's got, was it Cheryl
Roberts?
Yes,
it is. Yeah.
And he's got her face like on his tights, and he's just giving it the whole, Rude thing. I'm like, you absolute shit heel. I fucking hate that, but I love it at the same time. Jake is going to be so very upset. And fucking hell, he was.
He was indeed. Okay, brilliant. Yes, Rick Rude.
I think the technical term for Rick Rude is shithousery. He was the absolute master of it.
Well, coming to my second best promo package or whatnot of the 80s, I'm going to pick the $1 Million Man. And I'm going to pick a specific one for the $1 Million Man, where he pays off the guy who runs the public swimming pool. He makes him close the public pool, kick all the kids out. Virgil helps kick all the kids out. Come on, get out of the pool. Come on, get out now. Come on. And then the $1 Million Man sits on a lilo on his own in the pool whilst all the kids are on the other side of the fence staring in. It's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. There's a couple like on a theme. This is as he's debuting. So there's a couple like that run along this theme. There's one where he goes to a restaurant. There's a big long queue, but he just walks up to the front, pays off the maitre d', and then they kick somebody off the table and wipe away their food, and he sits down. And I think there's another one. Oh, there's another one where he cuts his finger on counting money in the back of the car.
Yes.
So they go to the hospital, and him and Virgil pay off the woman, and he gets to see a doctor straight away. But the one with the kids in the pool is fantastic, absolutely brilliant work. Well done.
Wasn't the one where like he burst the kid's basketball or something like that?
No, I was about to bring this up. So yeah, like the one at the swimming pool is like devastating, but at least in my mind, they're actors. They're there. They know the score. The one with this, it was like, it wasn't $1 million man said, if you can bounce this basketball 10 times in a row, I'll give you $100. Yeah. He does it about 8 times and then just twats the ball away or something.
That's it, yeah. Kicks it away. Kicks it away, yeah.
And the kid looks genuinely heartbroken, like he's not in on the take.
I'm sure there was something a couple of years ago where they reunited as well.
Well, Rob Van Dam was one of them.
Was he?
So, yeah, because so he does this a lot. He, like at this point, like he kicks the kid's ball away. I think with Rob Van Dam, I can't remember what he's getting him to do, but he gets him up to do something. You know, he's about to do it, and then he changes his mind, or he takes the finger away, and so Rob Van Dam can't do it. But it's like a young Rob Van Dam is one of them, definitely. Right. He makes a woman bark like a dog, and he's saying, "No, that's the wrong type of dog. I want you to bark like a chihuahua. No, get down on your knees and bark like a chihuahua. I'll give you $300 if you get down on your knees now and bark like a chihuahua." Fantastic little things. Like no one else is doing this kind of stuff at the time, and it just fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic.
He must have been laughing when he came into the WWF at the time, because obviously kayfabe was still going on. From what I hear, like Vince basically said to him, "You got to live your persona. So I'm going to limo drive you ever. I'm going to private fly you. You're going to eat in the best places, because if anyone sees you off camera, they need to believe it."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And imagine the heat he would have got backstage. Like everyone else, like fucking just shacked up in a car, driving however far. I mean, like fucking DiBiase.
Domino's, right? Ted DiBiase owes everything to Domino's, right? So if Butch Reed doesn't do a no-show, and Vince has to change plans and give Honky Tonk Man the Intercontinental title, so he can move up Macho Man to get the heavyweight title, DiBiase is in this position where he's one of the company's biggest heels at this point, and he needs a title, but they don't want to give him the world title because they can't take that off and give it to a heel. So DiBiase at that point then gets the $1 Million Man belt, if you will, and that's where that comes in. So if Butch Reed hadn't no-showed, if Butch Reed had turned up, basically, I don't think any of that would have happened, which is quite weird to think about. If that is mental. We wouldn't have got the longest reigning Intercontinental title run. We wouldn't have got Macho winning the belt at Mania 4 and then getting the Mega Powers exploding at 5. We wouldn't have got the $1 Million Man belt. It's just a very strange set of dominoes that one guy set off.
Probably wouldn't have got Stone Cold Steve Austin in his current form, because he was a protege of DiBiase, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He started off as what was it, the Ringmaster?
The Ringmaster.
Yeah.
He was gifted the $1 Million Championship straight away.
Yeah, and the $1 Million Dream. He had that as well. He was
the finish.
That. Yeah, he was gifted that as well at the same time.
I'd like to see that title come back if it was put on the right shoulders. It weren't right for Austin, but
no. The $1 Million belt.
Yeah,
that was in NXT, not so long ago.
I was going to say they did bring it into NXT, didn't they? But yeah, if you had like a Bobby Roode character from his TNA run, like the
I've always said make Shelton Benjamin win the lottery, then he can use the term "it's all about the Benjamins." And then you can give Shelton Benjamin that title. I mean, why not?
You've already got like, what was he referred to as, the gold standard?
Exactly.
And stuff like
that. There you go.
You've got money. You've got a story arc there. You can build around that.
Exactly. Right, Niall, your worst promos, worst packages, worst
promos have done Jeff Farmer. Couldn't really think of anything else beyond that because that had blinded me.
Yeah.
With how bad it was. No, I've drawn a blank on that one.
Don't get any more. I've got two. So I'm gonna pick Outback Jack. Do either of you know who Outback Jack is?
Was this off the back of Crocodile Dundee?
Yep. But
not Skinner, because there was Skinner as well, wasn't there?
Skinner was like a Florida Gator guy.
Right.
So he was from Florida, and he had like chewing tobacco and that kind of stuff. Outback Jack was Australian. It was a Crocodile Dundee ripoff. And had promos run all the way through '86. He debuts in something like, I think, November or October, but his promos run all fucking year. And he started in like January 1986 and run till October. And it's just Outback Jack in the Outback. Good day there, mate. How's it going? Yeah, I'm Outback Jack, and I can't wait to get to the WWE. It's great. And that's it. That's the fucking problem. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
I think in one he throws a boomerang. Another he plays a didgeridoo, and that's about it. But they constantly got played all the time in the WWE the 80s. And he was a shit wrestler as well.
I was going to say, was there any payoff to it?
He never got
no titles, right?
Oh no, nothing like that. No titles. His finishing move was to clothesline someone in the front, then wait till they stood up, and then run and clothesline them from the back. So it's like a boomerang clothesline.
Oh Jesus!
Exactly. That was the level of thought they put into this, Dickkie, and it lasted like a good 2 years. He was a perennial jobber that they gave these massive packages of promos to for no reason. And watching it all back now, like it's just so frustrating watching these packages.
Wait till we get to the early 2000s. That's reminded me of a similar.
Yeah, sort of thing. Yeah. There was loads then as well, because you had your Kazanis and Alberto Del Rio's. I mean, Del Rio was great in the ring, but his fucking packages went on for months. Absolute months. Fuck it, yeah. Oh, good God. And the other worst one I picked was it's got a musical theme, so I'll play this at the end. We'll play the full thing at the end, but it's the AWA's Wrestle Rock Rumble. Do either of you know what this is?
I've heard tell of it, but I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic. So I think it's 86, 87. AWA have got a promo. I've got a pay-per-view coming up, sorry. Couple of big people on it. Nick Bockwinkel, who we didn't mention before, as one of when we were talking about promos. Nick Bockwinkel, fuck me, what a promo that guy is. Absolutely amazing. Etiquette and eloquent. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I think he's fighting the Sheik. I'm not 100% sure. He might be Bruce Brody. He's definitely in this, though. Larry Zbyszko's in it. Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig are a tag team. The Rockers are called the Midnight Rockers, and they're in this. So basically, this came from a thing. There were the Chicago Bears, I think, won the Super Bowl, and they did a song called the Super Bowl Shuffle. And it's basically the Super Bowl Shuffle. And that's the song. So the AWA, I think Vern Gagne got an idea and went to Greg Gagne. Greg got an idea and went, Vern, I've got an idea. Come here, let's do this. Come on, lad. Come on, dad. Let me do this. And basically, it's the wrestlers. So I'm Nick Bockwinkel. This is what I got to say. I'm gonna beat the Sheik on Sunday. You do want Simon, and we won't grumble. You'll see me wrestle at the Wrestle Rock Rumble. And it is terrible. Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig are the best things. Larry Zbyszko's quite good, actually, but Larry Zbyszko lets himself down by doing a yeah at the end of his verse, which is just bizarre. But
so it's like white boy 80s rap.
Oh, mate, it's and it's the early rap, I went to the shop today and I bought myself a hat. That kind of rap.
My name is X and I'm here to say,
yes, everybody starts it like that. Yeah.
No.
I'm Larry Zabisco and I'm here to say I beat you up every day. It's that kind of shit, And don't you worry and don't you fumble. I make you wrestle as the Wrestle Rock Rumble. They all end like that. But the music is just off-key hip-hop. So it's got a beat to it, but the wah, it's almost like Tupac-esque, but it's just something about it that it's just really bad. But we'll play it. We'll play it. There's the full thing at the end. But Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig are the best thing about. I'm Big Scott Hall and I'm Kurt Hennig. Fantastically shit and cheesy, but fantastically bad at the same time. I don't know what they were thinking, but I think it was just, let's try and plug a hole in this sinking boat is what they were thinking, really.
So this was AWA you mentioned.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because I was thinking, like, this predate Razor Ramon, but yeah, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
AWA stuff.
I think there's a load of AWA stuff on the network.
Yes, there will be. Yeah. I mean, like, all the big stars came from the AWA. They all started there, and Vince nicked a lot of them. But there was a couple of people he couldn't really get off him. But yeah, like I say, Nick Bockwinkel. Check some of his promos out. Absolutely fantastic. But we'll finish there, and we will end, and we'll play out with the AWA's Wrestle Rock Rumble song. Dickkie, thank you very much for joining us this month, my brother.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Cheers now, love. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Yes, you shall.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you for joining us in the Brain Trust. Oh, next month, we're going to be joined by Simon from Rash Decision and / the CBIN podcast, and we're going to be talking about celebrities in wrestling. So that's what we'll be talking about next month. Celebrities, their use, the best use of celebrities, the best people to have been in, etc. From the big to the small, we'll talk about them all. But that'll be next month. Until then, see you later, everybody. Thanks for listening, and take care. Bye-bye.
This is Ken Resnick, and I'm here to say we've got the greatest wrestlers in the AWA. But you're not here to listen to me mumble. Let's fill you in on the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Get on!
Wrestle Rock, be there.
We're the Midnight Rockers, Sean and Marty. We love to wrestle, and we love to party. You don't have to worry, we're not gonna bumble, because we'll be shaking through the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Out!
Wrestle Rock.
I'm the Sheik, and that's not funny. I got my army a lot of money. If Ganyan my way, I make him crumble. He be sorry, I did the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock, be there.
I'm Jerry Blackwell, and I want to see. I want to get my hands on that pencil neck geek as I watch the EDF Bumble. I'm going to make my splash in the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
The AWA, you, me, and Wrestle Rock.
I'm Greg Gagne, and I'm in a rage. I want Brody, and I want him in a cage. A high-flying dropkick will make him see double. I grind him up at the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Woo!
Wrestle Rock.
I'm Kurt Hennig.
And Big Scott Hall. As tag team champs, we'll take on them all.
So bring on the Long Riders, those dirt-ball dumbos.
We'll smear those bushes through the Wrestle Rock Rumble. This is Nick Bockwinkel, and I've got a passion. I'll get the title back from the humanoid Hanson. I've got the brains, and I'm not humble. I'll take the belt back and do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock, April 20th, at the Dome.
Wrestle Rock, 86, be there.
I'm Larry the
this so. I won't be through till I get done slapping around Scott in the tooth. Gonna beat the ugly bartender into a bundle and laugh all the way doing Wrestle Rock Rumble. Ow! This game talk got a mouth that won't quit, but I'm Scott McGee wanna smack a little shit. And when I'm through, you won't be able to mumble. I'll be left alone doing the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Yeah!
Just one last word from the former champ Vern, but give it a lot of thought to one more turn. There's some old scores that still give me trouble, and I'm starting to get the urge to do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
So there you have it, and now you know 'em. And on April 20th, it's at the Dome. So get your tickets to be under the bubble, because you two can be doing the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Do it!
Wrestle Rock Rumble. Wrestle Rock Rumble.
The Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock Rumble.